This guy lost over 30 pounds of fat and gained muscle in just 3 months. And people were so shocked, they accused him of being on Ozempic. But he wasn't. What he did instead is what I call the holy grail effect, which is burning fat, building muscle, and boosting metabolism all at the same time. And in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how we pulled it off. Now, if you're tired of guessing, following trendy diets, or want to get lean without using medications, then this protocol is for you. Oh, and we use the DEXA scan to confirm every result. It's not magic, it's science. Chris lost 30.6 pounds of fat, gained 3.3 pounds of lean mass, and dropped his body fat by over 10% in 90 days flat. So if you want to transform your body and your metabolism without wasting months doing the wrong stuff, let's get into it. Now, let me set the context. Depending on what your goal is, your ability to burn fat and build muscle at the same time will vary, and there are 2 ways to do this. If you want to optimize for weight loss, then your muscle building potential will be at its lowest. If you want to do both at the same time, it's called a body recomp, which means that your fat loss will be slower while your muscle building potential will be higher. Now, if you are metabolically unhealthy and you need to lose weight, then obviously I would choose the first protocol, which is what we're going to be talking about today. But if you're already metabolically healthy, then I would choose the body recomp method instead, and there are plenty of videos on this on YouTube. So step 1 is going to be physique training. So lifting weights is a non-negotiable when you're trying to burn fat and gain muscle. With Chris, he was used to changing his workouts every single time that he went to the gym. But the best way to build muscle is to keep doing the same workouts while progressively overloading the body. This means every single time you're hitting the gym, you're either adding more weight or more reps, or doing both at the same time. Now, I want you to listen closely here because we did something that's a little bit different that I haven't seen a lot of people talk about. We worked out 3 days per week, but used a 4-day split. So here's what I mean. On Monday, we would do lower body workout A. On Wednesday, we would do upper body workout A. For the final workout of the week on Friday, we would do lower body workout B. Then on Monday, we would complete the final workout with upper body B. Then we would repeat the same 4-day split based on this 3-day per week workout routine. Now, the reason why we did this is for a few reasons. So at the time of his body transformation, Chris was 52 years old, and something you should know as we get older is that recovery starts to slow down. Every week, Chris would have an extra day to recover, and this would help him from both a recovery perspective and also from an injury prevention perspective. And as for myself, I do the same split because I find it's a perfect balance when it comes to the amount of stress that you want to place on the body and the amount of recovery that you need, as well as the time that you want to dedicate to the gym. And again, if you're watching this, you probably have a job or a business that you're trying to attend to, you have a family, you have hobbies, you have a life, and you don't want to dedicate your life to the gym. So that's why I suggest doing a split like this. Now, this also gives you a good amount of variety. So some weeks you're going to be doing 2 upper body workouts. Other weeks you're going to be doing 2 lower body workouts. And this helps keep things fresh. What happens is that you create this adaptation period through a 2-week cycle, as opposed to what most people are doing is adapting to a 1-week cycle. For his workouts, we made sure that we were focusing on these main exercises, which is the leg press, Romanian deadlift, reverse lunges, the machine chest press, lat pull downs, back rows, and seated shoulder presses. Now, these exercises were specific to Chris, but what you want to do is you want to look at these as movements that you want to incorporate and get stronger in. And we filled out the rest of his workouts with accessory movements such as bicep curls, tricep pushdowns, lat raises, and calf raises. Now, for his workouts, if we were doing a compound movement, we would have at least 3 minutes of rest between sets. And if it was an accessory movement, we would have a little bit less rest, around 2 minutes. And also, we kept ourselves to around 2 sets per exercise. We were lifting pretty close to failure, and across 2 weeks, we were making sure that we were hitting the muscles frequently. So Chris was a busy guy, and if he couldn't spend the time that he needed in the gym, we actually supersetted the workouts and the exercises like we do in our Lean Body 90 program. Now, if you want to burn fat and build muscle at the same time, you can't forget about nutrition. So step 2 is nutrition architecture. You got to make sure that you are establishing the right foundations, especially from an eating perspective. This means having the right calories, macronutrients, specifically protein, and also timing. We had Chris on a 500 to 700 calorie deficit while maintaining protein intake at 1 gram per pound. Now, the thing about Chris is he had a lot of weight to lose, so we could be a little bit more generous with the calorie deficit. And also, some would say that 1 gram per pound of body weight for protein is a bit on the high side, but some studies suggest that you can increase muscle mass while being in a caloric deficit by consuming protein levels that are higher than normal. Now, we also started Chris on something that is called a protein-sparing modified fast. This is where you eat lean meats, you take in minimal fats, and you don't eat any carbs except for veggies. I find that this is a fantastic way to start off a body transformation because you're able to preserve muscle reset your taste buds, and also lose a ton of fat in a very short amount of time. And by the way, I created a free guide on the protein-sparing modified fast and how you can drop up to 10 pounds in 2 weeks. I'm going to leave that link in the first comment of this video. And when it came to nutrient timing, we did 3 things. Number 1 is we had his final meal at least 4 hours before he went to sleep. This improved sleep quality and prevented nighttime snacking. Number 2 is he ate his first meal within 1 hour of waking and took in at least 30 grams of protein. This took him out of a catabolic state, which improved his ability to gain muscle while also regulating his appetite. And his second meal was between his first and last meal. This set up a structure of eating that would regulate his hunger and appetite throughout the day while maintaining high energy levels and also optimizing for building muscle. Now, I talked about the mechanics of setting up your meal structure in this video that you can check out over here. So in addition to these, we made sure that he was not drinking any alcohol while also getting the right micronutrients so he can feel full, energetic, and focused while being in a calorie deficit. So step 3 is sneaky moves. So something that you have to know is that when you start losing a lot of weight, your body subconsciously tries to slow you down. It does this by making sure that you're not fidgeting as much or not moving as much or just being a little bit more lazy than usual. And also something that I realized is that the best type of cardio is the one that you don't realize you're doing. So Chris used to torture himself by hitting the treadmill or the bicycle and doing 30 to 40 minutes of long endurance cardio. While this is great, it can increase stress, particularly cortisol, if someone is living a high-stress lifestyle. So we invested in an under-the-desk treadmill and implemented a mandatory step count of 8,000 to 10,000 steps per day. At the end of the day, he didn't feel drained. He had more than enough energy to play catch with his son after work. And also, something that you have to understand about energy is the fact that your willpower wanes throughout the day. When you have more energy at the end of the day, it actually helps you make better food choices at night, which leads me to step 4, which is sleep hygiene. So there's no way around it. If you want to burn fat and build muscle at the same time, you need proper sleep. Admittedly, Chris had horrible sleeping habits. He would be on his screens well into the night, and he would also wake up at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. to go to work. So we did 3 major things. Number 1 is we had him wear blue light blockers when the sun started to set. This blocks out the blue light and makes it super easy for you to go to bed when it's time to go. Number 2 is, as mentioned before, we had his final meal at 7 p.m. This helped him improve the quality of his sleep by not having to digest food. And number 3, we had him set up his environment to make it more conducive to great sleep. This means getting blackout shades, a sleep mask, and also drinking the sleep tea 2 hours before he goes to bed. Sleep regulates our hormones and our appetite, and also it's one of the most important things that you need to fix, especially if you're trying to transform your body composition. And if sleep is something that you struggle with, I have a free guide on the protocols we use to help our clients 10x their sleep quality. You can find that out in the description below. And the final step is working on the intangibles. So the top 3 intangibles that you have to fix are going to be your tracking, your consistency, and accountability. So when you're trying to transform your body, what you measure is what you manage. We need to have a dashboard that is showing us where we are trending. So every day we had Chris step on a scale and we took a 7-day average of how much he weighed. Every single week we had him measure the inches specifically around his waistline. And every month we took pictures. Every 6 weeks we had him do his blood work so we can see what was happening underneath the surface. And at the beginning and end of the transformation, we had him take his DEXA scan. Next up is consistency. So the biggest mistake I see people make when trying to transform their bodies is striving for perfection and having an all or nothing mentality. What we need to do is we need to aim for consistency while staying highly accountable to the process. What you're looking to do is set a groove for habits and results. And you can't do this when you're giving up at the first sight of an obstacle or trying to change things when things aren't seemingly working. To Chris's credit, he was coachable. And when slip-ups actually happened, which they always do, we worked through them. It is the intangibles that make the holy grail of body transformation a reality. It's not enough to just know the tactics. You have to know the inner game of transforming the body. Now, one of the most transformative things that you can do for your body is to burn fat and gain muscle. Now, the coolest part about his transformation was the things that happened outside of his health. While going through this protocol, Chris achieved some incredible things. He got a major promotion, he created better relationships with his wife and his children, and he felt like he was an upgraded version of himself. When you transform your body, you absolutely can transform your life, and Chris is a great example of that. So if your goal is to burn fat and build muscle at the same time, follow this protocol. Your future self will thank you. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.